Good morning, dear students. How are you? Hope you are doing well at home. In this corona pandemic, we all are staying inside the home. But here we are for you. We are providing you the online study sessions so that you can have a good study, your good academic results. So we at Swiflearn, we try harder because we are the most sincere learning destination for the classes 3rd to 10th. And what we do, we provide you 100% live and interactive classes. We give you personalized attention batch with maximum of 6 students. We have a dedicated mentor team which will track and work on on our students' progress. And we cover the syllabus as per school schedule, exam schedule, and we also handle custom requests. So what are our key features? We basically deal in detailed progress reports. We take your SATs, that is Swiflearn Academic Test Series. We take unlimited practice tests. So once the student is ready to appear for his school examinations, he is so much confident, he or she is so much confident that he is appearing for the examination in his best form. And we take subjective tests for the school exams. So what you have to do, you just have to book a free trial class now. For this, you have to just subscribe our video. You have to click on the bell icon so that you never miss any update. So here we are. What is our topic for today? Our topic for today is acid, bases and salt. This is a very important topic for all the students. Why? Because there are things around us which taste differently. That means one thing is not the same, is having same taste like the other thing. They are having different taste. So how can we differentiate between them, whether a thing that is in front of us is acid, base or salt? But the most important thing is everything cannot be tasted to check whether it is acid, base or salt. Then comes the role of indicators. So all this we'll be discussing in today's session. So before that, what are your doubts? That is, how can we check whether it is acid, bases or salt, the thing that is in front of us? We'll be coming to it. How can we just check whether a given thing is acid, base or salt? And if we cannot taste it, then how can we check it whether it is acid, base or salt? So these two categories we'll be discussing today. So our objectives for today is, what are acids and bases? What are the examples of acids and bases? How can we differentiate between acids and bases? And we have acids that are occurring in nature. So we'll be discussing about naturally occurring acids and from where they are coming. What are their sources? And how can we differentiate between strong and weak acids? Some acids are there which are very weak, which are not reactive. And some acids are there which react immediately. They are strong acids. Just like that, we'll be discussing about the strong and weak bases and what is the role of indicators. For example, if you cannot taste anything to judge whether it is an acid and base, then just indicators just pop in to play their role. They play the role because we can use indicators to check whether a given thing is an acid or a base. And if no change is there, then it is a salt. What are the natural indicators that are present around us? Now, when we have discussed about acids and bases, there is something, everything is having a plus and a minus of itself. That is a positive effects and the negative effects. Acids also have a negative effect on nature. That is the acid rain. And what are the consequences of this acid rain? How can we determine what is the pH value for a particular substance? If it is acid, then what is the pH value? If it is salt, what is the pH value? And if it is a base, then what is the pH value? So let's go on our journey to understand acids, bases and salts. In our daily life, we use a number of substances around us, that is food, water, fruits, lemon, salt, sugar, tamarind and vinegar. You can just have a look at the picture. There are so many things around us. Some taste sweet, some taste sour, some taste bitter and some taste very nice. So we are going to differentiate between them. Do all these items taste same? No, not at all. They don't taste the same. Now let's recall some of the edible items, that means you can eat them, that we use in our daily life. Now here is a list of edible items that are around you in your day-to-day life. You see them here and there in the kitchen. So how do they taste like? If we talk about curd, it is sour, khatta taste, it is sour in taste. Just like that, tamarind, imli is also खट्टा in taste. Now when we come on the other things like lemon juice, आजकल हम पी रहे हैं ना कोरोना में, we are having lemon juice to improve our immunity. So it is what? It is sour in taste. Talking about sugar, it is sweet in taste. The tablet that we resist eating it, that is bitter in taste. I have eaten it in the morning. It is bitter in taste because I am suffering from cold. What is ripe mango? It is sour in taste. Khatta, kachi keri, that is khatta in taste. What is baking soda? Baking soda is used in your kitchens when you make pakoras or you are putting it in cake to give fluffiness to it. Then it is bitter in taste. You just put a small drop of it on your tongue and you'll feel that it is very bitter in taste. Common salt, it's salty in taste, and buttermilk is sour in taste. That is khatta in taste. Now out of this you can easily see that we have how many taste we are having. We are having a sour taste, we are having a sweet taste, we are having a bitter taste, and we are having a salty taste. So these are the 4 tastes in which all the things are categorized. Now these are the tastes that we are able to judge by our tongue, that is by the taste buds that are present on our tongue. But how can we actually differentiate them in case of acids, bases and salt? Now we will be coming to it. So it is observed that some of the items are sweet, some taste bitter, some salty and some taste sour. So why the taste of all these items are different from each other? It is because of the presence of acid, base and salt in them. The things which are tasting salty, they have salts in them. The things which are tasting bitter, they are having base in them. And the things that are tasting sour, they are having acids in them. So this is basically because of the presence of acid, base and salt in them. Now, but what are these acid, bases and salts? Now, acids are what? The word acid means sour. That means khatta. It is very sour in taste. We say that lemon is sour in taste, or we can say that pineapple, sometimes it tastes sour in taste. So all the sour substances essentially contain acids. If anything is tasting sour, that means it is having acid in it. So the things which you can taste, okay, and if they are tasting sour, that means they are having acid in them. Examples are lemon juice, orange juice, curd, unripe mango, that is the mango which is not fully prepared, they all taste sour. They taste sour because they have the presence of acids in them. The chemical nature of such substances is acidic. The acid present in these substances, natural acid. Now this is very important, kids. We say that whenever a thing, like if we talk about the chemical nature of a substance, so the thing which is having acid in it, the chemical nature of that substance is what? Acidic. If a substance is having base in it, then what is the nature of that substance? It is basic in nature. And mind you, the acid that is present in these substances, natural acid. We are not preparing that acid and putting it inside these food items. It is naturally there. So these are the natural acids which are present in them. Now, what are mineral acids? Which are prepared from the minerals of earth are called as mineral acids. That means they are also called as laboratory acids. जो भी the minerals that are available on earth, we use them to make acids. They are called as mineral acids, and we call them as laboratory acids because we prepare them. They are not occurring naturally, that is why they are not called as natural acids. So they are called as mineral acids, or another name is given as laboratory acids. So what are the examples of laboratory acids? They are hydrochloric acid, sulfuric and nitric acid. These are not occurring naturally. We prepare them in the laboratory. Now, what are the uses of mineral acids? Hydrochloric acid is the first one. What is the use of hydrochloric acid? It is used in cleaning kitchen sinks and bathroom sanitary wares like wash basin and toilet seat. It is a very strong acid. That is why it is used to remove the stains from the kitchen sink or the bathroom sanitary wares like the wash basin where you wash your hands, or the toilet seat. It is used to clean them. So it is a very strong acid. Now, another acid is there, that is a mineral acid. It's sulfuric acid. It is used in making storage batteries of cars, buses and ट्रक्स एंड इन्वर्टर्स, दैट इज जो कार्स, बसेस, ट्रक्स एंड इन्वर्टर्स है उसमें जो बैटरीज होती हैं उसमें कौन सा एसिड यूज होता है? सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड. Now, one more acid is there, mineral acid, that is a nitric acid. So what for is nitric acid used? It is very important because it is used for cleaning gold and silver ornaments because they are very precious. You cannot use any acid because it will spoil the luster of the ornament. So we use nitric acid because it is very safe and it is used to clean the gold and silver ornaments. Now, if we need to categorize the acid, they are basically categorized into two categories, that is a strong acid and a weak acid. Strong acids are hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid and nitric acid. That means they need to be handled with extreme care. You cannot just go around here and there taking these acids in your hand. They are very dangerous, they are very risky. You need to handle them with extreme care. And weak acids are your acetic acid, citric acid, carbonic acid and tartaric acid. They are present in your food items. So what are strong acids? The acids like hydrochloric, sulfuric and nitric acid are called as strong acids. They are very dangerous. That is, you need to handle them with care. Weak acids are what? Weak acids are acetic acid, citric acid and carbonic acid. These are the weak acids along with tartaric acid, and that is why they are used in food ingredients, because the strong acids cannot be used in food ingredients because they are going to cause harm to your body. आप देखो जब आप acids के साथ chemistry lab में काम करते हो, teachers क्या बोलते हैं? Handle them very carefully because the acids that are there in the laboratory acids, we have already learned their name, laboratory acids. अगर उसका एक drop भी गिर जाता है आपके हाथ पे या आपके lab coat पे गिरता है, then it is just burning it off. So you need to handle them with care. They are not an ingredient of the food. Food का ingredient कौन सा होता है? Weak acid, because they are not so much powerful. Now, food items like pickled tomato ketchup contains acetic acid in the form of vinegar. जो अचार होता है, केचप होता है, we need a long shelf life. यानी कि हमें चाहिए कि वो लंबा चले, खराब ना हो. तो उसमें हम उनको कैसे प्रिजर्व करते हैं? हम acetic acid in the form of vinegar. That means we put vinegar in it और उसको हम ज़्यादा टाइम तक प्रिजर्व कर सकते हैं. Vinegar is used to preserve fruits and vegetables. Vinegar हम यूज़ करते हैं अपने fruits and vegetables को प्रिजर्व करने के लिए. अब बेकिंग पाउडर में कौन सा एसिड होता है जो कि हम फूड आइटम्स में यूज करते हैं? हमें अगर इफ यू वांट टू मेक पकौड़ास, यू वांट टू बेक अ केक, देन व्हाट इज देयर? व्हिच एसिड इज अ कंस्टिट्यूएंट ऑफ बेकिंग पाउडर? इट्स टार्टरिक एसिड. इट इज यूज्ड इन मेकिंग केक्स एंड बिस्किट्स. किस में यूज होता है? इट इज यूज्ड इन मेकिंग केक्स एंड बिस्किट्स. कार्बोनिक एसिड गिव्स अ प्लेजेंट टेस्ट, सो इट इज यूज्ड इन फिजी सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक्स एंड सोडा वाटर. जो हम सोडा वाटर या सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक की बॉटल जैसे ही खोलते हैं, वी हियर अ साउंड. That is why it is there, because they are fizzy. And what is there inside it? Which acid is there? Carbonic acid is there, which gives it a very pleasant taste. You get a good taste when you are having it. So that is because of the presence of carbonic acid. So just summarizing them up, acetic acid is present in vinegar. Formic acid is there in ant sting. जब आपको चींटी काटती है तो आपको ऐसा होता है ना, itchy sensation होती है. Why? Because that ant has just just transferred the formic acid into your skin. And to treat it you need a base. आप कुछ base उस पे लगाओगे, baking powder या कुछ, तो उससे क्या होगा? It is going to remove that sensation of itching from your skin. Citric acid is present in citrus fruit like orange and lemon. Lactic acid, it's there in curd. Oxalic acid is in spinach. Ascorbic acid is in amla, citrus fruits, and tartaric acid is present in tamarind, that is imli, grapes and unripe mango. These all acids which you have just seen the name here, they are all present in nature. We are not manufacturing them in the laboratory. They are not laboratory acids. They are present in nature. And these are the sources from where we are getting. If you need acetic acid, you need to use a vinegar. Spinach is rich in oxalic acid. All the citrus, khatte fruits, sour fruits, they are basically rich in vitamin C or ascorbic acid. So these are the sources and these are the acids that we are getting from them. Now, do you know that acids are never stored in metal containers because they are very reactive in nature, and hence they are stored in glass container because glass does not react with acids. Now, when we talk about the storage, because आप acids है, bases है, आपको उसको कहीं store तो करना पड़ेगा ना. How will you store it? If you go to the laboratory and have a look, you see that in the laboratory all the acids are there in glass containers. Why? Because glass is non-reactive. The acids are not stored in metal containers because metal would react with the acid and something else would be formed, a reaction would be there. So we store the acids inside the glass container because the glass is a non-reactive material. That is why we store acids in the glass container. Now, what about baking soda? Does it also taste sour? No, it is bitter in taste. You put a bit of baking soda on your tongue and just observe the taste. It is bitter in taste. You are not able to bear the taste. So it is not acid because it is not tasting sour in taste. So that is why it is bitter in taste. So we can say that baking soda is what? It is a base. Now, how can we check by any experiment whether a given thing is a base or not? We rub our hands in the solution of baking soda. हमने baking soda को पानी में mix करा. We are just rubbing it over our fingers. Then we feel soapy. That means the substances which are bitter in taste and give soapy feeling are called as bases. So if we need to just sum it up, like what are bases? Bases are what? They are soapy when you touch them, and they taste bitter. Now, bitter was sufficient to tell us whether a substance is base or not. Then why do we have to study about the soapy feel? We have to study about the soapy feel because we cannot taste everything. Everything that is a base, you cannot taste it. Everything cannot be tasted. So, if you cannot taste anything, at least you can feel it. Put it in water and just feel it whether it is soapy or not. Then it is a base. Take example of soap. Can you taste it? You cannot taste soap. You cannot taste a soap, whether it is bitter or not, it is sour. You cannot say that soap is acid or base by just tasting it. So what experiment will you perform to check whether soap is an acid or a base? You just put some water over it, just apply it to your hand. You feel a soapy feeling, that means it is a base. So that is, we cannot taste everything to check whether it is a acid or a base. So it means that chemical nature of the substances is basic. अगर हम bases की बात करें तो उनका chemical nature क्या होगा? It is basic in nature. Acids का acidic, base का basic in nature. These are some of the examples of bases that are there and from where we are getting them. कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड की बात करें तो वो किस में है? लाइम वाटर में. अमोनियम हाइड्रोक्साइड is used as a window cleaner. Your windows get cleaned with a solution that you just spray over the windows and clean it with a newspaper. Then your windows, they are cleaned properly. Then what is there? What is a constituent that is there in window cleaner? It's ammonium hydroxide. In soap, what you have sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. I'll just require you to pay attention to this hydroxide word. Whenever you talk about a base, there is normally a carbonate or a hydroxide word that is used. So if a name is consisting of hydroxide or a carbonate, then it is nothing but a base. If any name is having acid at the end of it, that means it is what? It is an acid. That is well understood. But bases के case में हमारे last में what the name is ending with, it is ending with hydroxide or a carbonate. So they are the bases. Magnesium hydroxide is basically from where we are getting milk of magnesia. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is baking soda and sodium carbonate is washing soda. जो हम wash करने के लिए for our clothes we are washing, we are using sodium carbonate. A base which is soluble in water is called an alkali. Normally, not all the bases are soluble in water, but the bases easily soluble in water, they are called as alkali. Now you can say that a base plus water is what? It is an alkali. So a base along with water is giving you an alkali. So what is alkali? Base and water is giving you alkali. Now, what is the difference between a strong and a weak base? Strong base, they are very dangerous and they can burn our skin. So we need to handle them with care. Like examples are sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Weak bases, they are not causing danger to us. That means it's not that we need to handle them, very easily. Even you need to handle them with care also, but they are not causing any danger to you. That is, what are the weak bases? It is calcium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, sodium carbonate, magnesium hydroxide and sodium hydrogen carbonate. Strong bases कौन से हैं? Sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. They are the strongest of all, and rest are what? They are all weak bases. Now, what are the parameters by which you can differentiate between acids and bases? You can basically differentiate between acid and bases by means of taste. If you can taste that thing, that is most important. If you can just not taste that thing, then you can just touch it and understand whether it is acid or base. If you can taste it, then acids are sour and bases are bitter. If you can touch them, then the acids they are not soapy in just their touch, and the bases are soapy in their touch. Litmus paper indicator, we are just coming to it. They are turning blue litmus red, and in case of bases, it is turning red litmus paper blue. Now, when the role of litmus paper comes into play, when we cannot either taste the thing also to check whether it is acid or base, we cannot touch it also. That is, it is risky to touch them or to taste them. Then we take the help of indicator. Indicator tells us that whether a given substance is acid or base. You can see there is a lot of indicators that are being enlisted here. Litmus paper indicator, it will turn a blue litmus paper to red if it is an acid, or if it is a base, then red litmus paper would turn to blue. Most important thing, if in case of acids you are putting a red litmus paper, then there would not be any change. And in case of base, if you are putting a blue litmus paper, there would not be any change. Yellow turmeric paper indicator, if you put it in the acid, there is no change in it. But if in case of base you are taking it, then it is going to change from yellow to red. Phenolphthalein indicator, in acids it is not having any effect. In case of base, it is going to change into pink color. Pink China rose indicator, it will turn into magenta, dark pink color. And in case of base, it is going to change into green color. Normally, most of the acids are soluble in water. And in case of bases, most of the bases are insoluble in water. Some of the bases are soluble in water. And in case of acids, some of the acids are insoluble in water. Bases में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा bases जो होते हैं वो वाटर में सल्यूबल नहीं होते, मतलब हमारे एल्कली सॉल्यूशंस नॉर्मली नहीं होते हैं, लेकिन एसिड्स जो हैं दे आर सल्यूबल इन वाटर. We don't taste or touch anything unless asked to do so. It is very dangerous for us. Now we come to the point that we need to understand to discuss about indicators. Now it's normally there, आपके आसपास कई चीज़ें हैं, आप कई बार उनको टेस्ट नहीं कर सकते. You cannot touch them also to check whether it is an acid or a base. Then how will you check whether a given substance is an acid or a base? If we cannot touch or taste anything, how do we find its nature? We can find its nature by using indicators. Now they play a very important role. They are the hero of the session because they are telling us whether a substance is acid or base. If we cannot taste it, we cannot touch it. That is, they are the special type of substances that are used to test whether a substance is acidic or basic in nature. These are called as indicator. Substance is acidic if it has acid in it. Substance is basic if it is having base in it. That means any substance which is acid is having, any substance which is having a nature of acidic, that means what is there in it? It is having acid in it. Acid is present in it. And if a substance we say that it is basic in nature, then what is present in it? Base is present in it. So these are basically the substances that are used to check whether a given substance is acid or base without tasting or without touching them. So the indicators that change their color when added to an acidic or basic solution, there are two types of indicators. One is a natural indicator, second is your synthetic indicator. Natural, which is already there in the nature, you need not manufacture it, and the synthetic indicators which need to be made by you so that you can use them to check the nature of the given substance. What are the natural indicators that are there around you? These are the indicators that are around you. Litmus paper, turmeric, China rose petals, and red cabbage juice. You can see the picture also. This is the litmus paper. This is the turmeric. These are the China rose petals, and these are what? Red cabbage juice. Now, how will they check whether a given substance is acidic or basic? Now, these indicators are used to test the nature of substance. They show different colors in acidic or basic medium. Acidic में अलग color दिखाएंगे, basic में अलग color दिखाएंगे. Litmus, it is a natural dye which is obtained from lichen. These are the small plants, yellow in color. और इसको हमें क्या करना पड़ता है? We have to mix them in the water to make a solution out of it. Then this is what you are getting, a litmus solution to check whether a given substance is acidic or basic. Or else what we can do, we can take a red litmus paper or a blue litmus paper that is available in the market, and in acidic solution what will happen, the blue litmus paper is going to change into red one, and in basic solution the red litmus paper is going to change into the blue one. But what will happen if you put this litmus paper in distilled water? What will happen if you put this litmus paper in the distilled water? The color is not going to change. Why? Because distilled water that you are drinking, that is potable water, that is neither acid nor basic. So the color is not going to change in case of distilled water, because it is what? It is neutral in taste. Now, how can just do this? What we can do in this activity, that we need to just put lemon juice with water. We are making a solution of lemon juice in a cup, and we are putting this solution on a strip of red litmus paper. Now this lemon juice is tasting what? It is sour in taste. That means because it is sour in taste, we know that it is what? It is acidic in nature. Now if we put it on the red litmus paper, what will happen? Is there any change in the color? Repeat the same with the blue litmus paper. Then what is going to happen? We have just done in the previous slide that whenever red litmus paper is there, that is in acidic solution, blue litmus turns red, but red litmus पे कोई effect नहीं होता है. That is when we are doing it with red litmus paper, there would not be any change in the color because it is acidic solution. But if we put the blue litmus paper, it is going to change into red. So this is important. That is, blue is going to change into red, but red is not going to change into this one. In acidic solution में क्या होता है? Blue litmus जो है वो red में हो जाता है, लेकिन अगर आप red ही litmus paper डालोगे तो उसमें कोई change नहीं आएगा acidic solution में. Basic में red litmus paper blue हो जाता है, लेकिन blue पे कोई change नहीं आएगा. And in neutral solution आप दोनों डाल दो, there would not be any change in the color. जिसका जैसा color है वैसा ही होगा. Neutral solution होता क्या है? What is neutral? As the name suggests, it is neither acidic, it is nor basic. Not at all. That is, ना वो acidic nature का है, ना वो basic. ना उसका taste खट्टा है, ना उसका taste कड़वा है. It is not having either of the taste. That means जब उसका कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है, ना वो acidic है, ना वो basic है, then what will happen to the color of the litmus paper? It will not change the color of the red litmus paper also. Neither it will change the color of the blue litmus paper. That is example, best example of neutral solution is distilled water. It is not going to change the color of any of the litmus paper. Turmeric, we have done about first indicator, that is litmus paper. Now second indicator is haldi, which is there readily available in your kitchens. Haldi is another natural indicator. It is bright yellow colored powder that is obtained from plants. It is obtained like this solid piece, and then when you crush it you get this powder. It turns red in basic solution. It is used as an indicator in the form of turmeric paper. Now you can use this solution also, turmeric and water. You can use that solution to check whether, if a solution is basic, you put it into the solution of turmeric, then the color is going to change into red. But if you put in acidic, there is no change in color. It will only change its color once it is in basic solution. Now China rose as an indicator. This is the third indicator that is there. It is also a natural indicator. It turns acidic solution to dark pink and it turns basic solution to green in color. You can just observe in the diagram. This is acid in the first beaker. base in another beaker. You take the petals of this China rose, make a solution out of it, put it in water and just mix it until the color of the water turns to pink, and just add it to the acid solution. The color is going to change to pink in case of acids, and in case of bases it is going to change into green color. But there is no effect on the neutral solution. Now all these indicators are basically helpful in differentiating between acidic and basic solution. Not for the neutral. Neutral जो है वो neutral ही रहने वाला. It is not going to show us any. The indicators are not showing any effect on the neutral solution. How to prepare it? We put some China rose petals in warm water. Keep the mixture for some time till the water becomes colorful. That is pink color. Use this color solution as an indicator. Take it in the dropper and put it on acidic, basic and neutral solution and record the observation that we have already seen. Now, this is a synthetic indicator. We have done 3 indicators, that is litmus paper, turmeric, and the third one is what? China rose petals. That are the natural indicators which are available. Now, some indicators are prepared by using chemicals also. That is why they are called as synthetic indicators. Example of it is phenolphthalein. This is a synthetic indicator. Now, we have studied about acids and bases. We can check the nature of some substances, whether it is acid or base, by just tasting it, by just feeling it in our hand, or if not at all possible, then using the indicator. Now, are acids really helpful? No. It's not that everything is having a plus side. There is some negative side also. When acids are increasing in the environment, they are falling down in the form of acid rain. That is, the rain that contains excess of acid with it, it's called as acid rain. Anything in excess is always bad. So the rain that contains excess of acids with it is called as acid rain. Now, from where these acids are getting formed? How are they getting formed? From the factories, the gases like nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide, they are going up in the environment. Gases are lighter in weight, so they are just, they are getting up. And when the vehicles are there, so many vehicles are there, then they are ejecting carbon dioxide from the emission that is there. These all gases are getting mixed with the water from the clouds, that is the water that is coming from the clouds, and they are forming sulfuric acid and nitric acid. And this sulfuric and nitric acid, when it is falling down in the form of rain, then it is what it is causing. It is causing damage to the plants and to the buildings. It is deteriorating them. They are affecting the plant life also. It is affecting the buildings also. It is affecting the aquatic life also. That is when the rain becomes acidic, because the air pollutants like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide from atmosphere dissolve in rain to form carbonic, sulfuric and nitric acid. That is when your carbon dioxide is getting mixed with raindrops, it is forming carbonic acid. And when your sulfur dioxide is combining with rainwater, it is forming sulfuric acid. And when your nitrogen dioxide is combining with rainwater, it is forming nitric acid. And when these acids are falling down, believe me, they are not causing anything good. They are in fact deteriorating the environment. What they are causing, it makes the water of the lakes, pond and rivers too acidic, due to which aquatic life get killed. पानी के नीचे aquatic life है. Now, when acid is coming from the top, what is happening? The aquatic life is getting killed because the water of lakes, pond and river is becoming too acidic. It eats up the leaves of the trees gradually, due to which trees die. Basically, what is happening? The leaves of the tree, they are dying up because the acid is falling from the sky. What are the consequences? More consequences of acid rain. They damage the crop plants in the field. They damage the metallic structures like bridges. These are the metallic structures that are made of iron. So it is basically causing damage to it. They are getting rusted. Their quality is getting deteriorated. And what are the consequences of acid rain? One of the 7 wonders of the world, that is Taj Mahal, it is becoming blackish brown in color because of the acid rain, because it is surrounded by the factories around it, and the emissions from the factories, they are getting mixed with the water and falling down in the form of acid rain. So it is basically hampering the beauty of the Taj Mahal also. Now, what is pH scale? We have done about acids, bases, acid rain, indicators. Now, what is a pH scale? There has to be a scale by which we can check whether a given substance is acidic or basic in nature. So pH scale, the value of pH scale is from 0 to 14. pH of 7, intermediate value of 7 is basically, it is neutral. pH value which is less than 7 is acidic and greater than 7 is basic. A substance which is neither acidic nor basic, it is coming with a pH value of 7, that is, it is neutral. So this is the pH scale. There are some food items also which are displayed over it, which is showing that given substance is acidic or basic in nature. Now if we talk about milk that everyone likes to consume, so milk is what? It is towards the acidic value. It is not having a basic value. It is having acidic value. Lactic acid is there. So what is the pH value of milk? pH value of milk is 6. Now if we talk about battery की pH value कितनी है? Battery की pH value है 0. That means it is not much acidic. If we talk about our stomach, okay, our stomach, what is it having? That is the tablets which we are taking. They are basically basic in nature. They taste bitter. That is why it is having pH value of 10. That is greater than 7. So if acidic value is from 0 to 6 and basic value is from 8 to 14. And what about this 7 value? This 7 value is a special value that is given to the neutral solution. Neutral is what? Your water is what? It is a neutral solution. Sometimes it happens in a day, that is because nowadays it is a bit cold, relatively cold weather. So we take too much of coffee, we take too much of tea, and we feel like there is a burning sensation inside our stomach. Why? Because coffee is very much acidic in nature. You can see the value, pH value of coffee is 5. That means it is acidic in nature. So too much intake of coffee or tea is basically causing what? Acidity to it. So this is basically the pH scale, which is showing you that the food items that are being enlisted here, what are their nature, whether they are acid or whether they are basic. The soap that we use is basic in nature because it is having soapy feeling. Now, after this, let's explore more what are the pH scale basics that are there. Now, if we have to just observe the pH scale basics, how can we say that whether a given substance is a, acid or a base, and how can we check? Now, just observe this. If we are pouring in drain cleaner, okay, we are just pouring in a drain cleaner. Now, what is the pH value of this drain cleaner? It is 13. Now let's suppose that means it is towards a basic value, क्योंकि 8 से लेकर 14 तक is basic one. Now let's say I just put in water in it. Okay. Now just check the pH value. Okay, this detector is there over the water and it is saying that pH value is 7. That means it is not getting affected. It is a neutral solution. If I take a chicken soup, if I just push it, then what is it? Chicken soup, it is acidic in nature, and what is the pH value? It is 5.80. In this way, we can check whether the substance that we are just pouring in the beaker is what. Now, let's suppose I add some water to it. You can see the pH value is what? It is increasing. It is coming towards neutral value. That means adding water to anything would increase, would basically bring it near to what? Neutral solution. Now, let's suppose we take it for a basic one. We are just taking it for a basic value, and the basic value, it's coming, pH is 10. Now if we add water to it, what is happening? Basically this basic solution is tending to come to a neutral one, and if we add more water, what will happen? It will become a neutral solution. So adding water is basically removing the acidic or basic nature of a substance. That is why we normally tell you that you should have more amount of water, because if you are feeling acidity, then have more of water so that it basically removes the effect of acid that is, hampering your stomach. Now, these are this we have already done the activity. We are just adding the solution and checking whether it is acidic or basic in nature. If we add more of water, then it is coming to a neutral level. Is distilled water acidic, basic or neutral? It is a neutral one. If you can check, we have just checked it, that it is coming, the pH is coming out to be 7. What will happen if we dip a strip of blue litmus paper in an acidic solution? It is going to turn to red. But vice versa, if we put a red litmus paper strip to the acidic solution, there would not be any change. Any two naturally occurring indicators, turmeric is there and China rose petals is there, and yes, litmus paper is also there. So what are acids? They are basically the substance which are tasting sour, and the naturally occurring acids are acetic acid and tartaric acid. Any differences between acids and base? Acids are mostly soluble in water, bases are less amount of bases are soluble in water, that is less amount of bases are forming alkali solution. Acids are sour in taste, bases are bitter in taste. Acids are not having soapy feel and bases are having soapy feel. Indicators. What are indicators? They come into play when we cannot taste or touch a substance to check whether it is acidic or basic in nature. Then we take the help of indicators. From where litmus paper is obtained? It is obtained from lichen. What is a pH scale? It is basically telling us whether a given substance is acidic or basic. 0 to 6 is what? Acidic, and 8 to 14 is what? Basic. And when a pH scale, the value is coming at 7, then that means it is a neutral solution. Strong acids and strong base: hydrochloric, nitric acid. Strong bases: potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. So what we have learned today, what are acids and bases, examples of acids and bases, how can we differentiate between them, and what are naturally occurring acids and their sources, how can we differentiate between strong and weak acids, strong and weak bases, indicators, they come into play when we cannot taste or touch a substance to check whether it is acidic in nature or basic in nature. There are natural indicators present around us, and normally most of the acids are causing acid rain, because of which the crops are getting affected, the bridges are getting affected. What is a pH scale? It is a scale which is basically used to tell us whether a substance is acidic in nature or basic in nature or neutral in nature. So this is what we have. So much. I hope to meet you in the next session. Is it stopped?
Ma'am, I'm just doing it because it's some sort of internet issue at my end, so I'm just stopping the stream from my end.
So should I click on stop streaming?
Yes, yeah.